Hey, so I wanted to talk about the news in the Mortal Kombat community right now, and it's the fact that Mortal Kombat 11 is not going to be at Evo this year. Recently, Mr. Wizard made his announcements on the Evo 2020 lineup, and Mortal Kombat did not make the list. This is pretty surprising actually, given the fact that how Mortal Kombat 11 did last year. Um, I think Mortal Kombat did more. I mean, Mortal Kombat 11 did more entries than any Mortal Kombat game in history. Um, so for that, people thought that Mortal Kombat 11 was going to be a lock for next year. Um, so this has a lot of people surprised, and a lot of people have a lot of theories as to why it didn't make it this year. There's some I kind of believe. There's others that I don't. Um, there are a lot of people saying it's because of the entries. Mortal Kombat has kind of seen a drop off in entries recently, and people are saying it's just not that much interest in the game, which I don't believe at all. I believe this game is still doing well. It does have a lot of resentment from the community that's not to be disputed. Mortal Kombat 11 is a big, a drastic switch from how Mortal Kombat games have been in the past. Usually Mortal Kombat games are about just high octane, rush down crazy stuff. And Mortal Kombat 11 is more focused around the spacing game and zoning and being very methodical, very methodical gameplay. And in the casual eye, that definitely is gonna be looked at as kind of boring and not exciting to watch. But I don't think the casuals pretty much control how people look at the game competitively. I think competitively, this game is still pretty interesting to watch. It's still pretty hype in my opinion. We've had tournaments where the hype for this game has been crazy. Combo Breaker was hype as was hype as hell. CEO last year was hype as hell. Evo, not really so much because it's Evo. Mortal Kombat at Evo has never really been hype, but other tournaments, DreamHack, Montreal was pretty hype, seeing Ninja Killer really beat Sonic Fox really badly. That was kind of crazy to see. ECT was crazy, that crazy comeback Sonic Fox did against Ninja Killer and the run back. That was crazy. This game, there is excitement in this game. This game is hype to watch. Now to the issue of the entrance, that's gonna happen naturally with any fighting game as it ages. Once people don't reach a certain level, they tend to just put the game down, especially in the when it comes to casuals. So when you talk about a drop off in entrance, that just naturally happens with any fighting game. So even though I don't think Mortal Kombat 11 would have had the same entries it did last year, I still think we would have had a pretty decent tournament in terms of entrance. I don't think it would have been a huge drop off from last year. But then again, maybe that's what Mr. Wizard and the guys at Evo probably thought, or maybe maybe it was the fact that Evo is starting to be more esports. They don't really see Mortal Kombat as being too ad friendly, because over the years Evo has kind of been all about the money, and they're really trying to appease to that esports kind of entity, if that makes any sense. So it could be a fact that maybe they just didn't want to have a Mortal Kombat title in their lineup. And and Evo has always been more privy to the Japanese fighters. You know what I'm saying? It could be a thing where maybe like they didn't like Mortal Kombat as a game, or maybe it just would be a fact that they felt they had enough games where they just didn't need it. Like, or maybe Warner Brothers and NRS felt like, you know, they got tired of being treated like garbage, and they just didn't feel like, you know, they wanted to pay Evo to have Mortal Kombat there if they were gonna be like on a Saturday spot. You know, they've always had Saturday spots. Like if they did have their tournament, I mean their top 8 on Sunday, it would I think it will probably be like in the morning. I've never caught Mortal Kombat a Mortal Kombat tournament like towards like the tail end of Sunday. It's always been like either Saturday or very early Sunday, maybe. But NRS games have never been really like treated that well at Evo anyway. So I mean, even though it's surprising that it's not going to be there, I mean, it's like, I mean, people are like, kind of like, it is what it is. Like, they were not really like treated that great anyway. And I mean, there's like, you can like take what you want from those theories. Me personally, I don't really put too much stock on it, like not being at Evo. I feel like this game is still like doing pretty well, even in a casual sense. I mean, the content they've been dropping has been like, you know, kind of good. And yeah, just in general, I think the game is in a good place. It's fun. It's fun to me, and it's fun to a lot of people. Like this whole like, oh, Mortal Kombat 11 sucks. I mean, it's definitely like the people who feel that way are definitely in the minority. This game is very fun, especially if you know what you're doing. A lot of people who have that like resentment, or people who just don't like really excel in this, you know, type of like, you know, fighting, like the whole like playing methodical, like they don't really equate that with Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is all about just in your face stuff, and you know, just naturally people just don't, you know, like that style. And I mean, it is what it is. But that doesn't mean the game is like dying, and the fact that it didn't make Evo does not mean that it's dying. There's still a lot to look forward to with this game, and I'm gonna still keep playing it. I'm gonna still keep, you know, watch tournaments, make content. Like I said, yeah, like, this game is in a good place in my opinion, and you know, it is gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird not having it, not like seeing it, you know, at some point at Evo. But I mean, the game is still pretty good. I mean, we still have a lot to look forward to. We got last chance qualifiers coming up for Final Combat. We got Final Combat coming. And then again, we could just, you know, wait for Combo Breaker. I mean, Combo Breaker is pretty much the Evo for Mortal Kombat. So this isn't going to affect the game too much in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, you know, and I'll see you guys on the next one.